It's day 15, and here we are for Juryo, Amy and Dave from Sumo Mainichi. It's really cool to be back talking sumo.
Absolutely, and in Melbourne, Australia right now, it's a beautiful winter's day.
Yes.
Just out of nowhere, we've got a nice mild 18 degrees
Yeah,
Celsius.
somebody told me about it earlier in the week, and it's spoken about with real reverence, a day over, about 12 degrees in the middle of winter in Melbourne. We do like to talk about the weather a lot, and so right back at the start of the week, people were saying the weather's going to be good on Sunday, the weather's going to be good. I then forgot and woke up to a beautiful sunny morning. We went to the market.
Yeah, we did.
Got some food, got some croissants.
And you can see this is the final bout now in Makushita, Shiren up against Tsukahara. This is the first basho that we're trying a different format with our podcast, so I think everyone is up to speed with the fact that the daily format, we've decided to give a bit of a rest for now, which makes coming and speaking about sumo today all that more special.
Yeah, it really does. It's been really fun, actually, to just be able to chill out and watch. I think we've got a bit of the joy of sumo back. Would you say that?
Look, I mean, it never really left me, but I think as we've spoken about, you don't want Juryo. You don't want sumo to feel like
or
work.
Juryo.
Or Juryo, in particular.
Juryo never feels like work. Juryo is where the heart is. Juryo was never the issue, but it was just the 15 days that were more of the issue.
That's right. And Makushita wraps up already now, and we're going to start getting ready for our first bout in Juryo. But you will notice a total of 3 Makushita Rikishi up fighting in Juryo today, really padding out the numbers because we've got a few Juryo Rikishi out with COVID and a few up in the top division, filling in the numbers there. I think that's probably going to be the big story of this basho, is just the record number of Rikishi out.
Yeah.
Record number of Fusenshos handed out.
And the 4 in a row the other night.
It was actually 5 in a row.
5 in a row.
And we opened day 13 with a Fusensho. I mean, we might talk about this on the podcast later, but interesting programming idea. Should you put them all in a slab?
Yeah, or not have them scattered throughout. Should you get all 5 people up in one go?
Yeah, yes.
Don't you think?
Gee, I don't mind that idea.
Bring out all 5 banners of the names of the people who've gone Kyujo.
Yeah.
And then bring all the 5 winners up. And maybe at the start, at the start.
Completely
of the
agree.
day.
Because what we found interesting watching that procession of 5 Fusensho about halfway through the card was that the crowd in attendance at Dolphins Arena Nagoya, this came as news to them.
They were pretty surprised, weren't they? I don't know. I did see someone say later on Twitter that the majority of people who come to the sumo are not that well versed about it. They don't know every single thing that's happening that day, and so they hadn't heard about the big groups, the big heya that went out that day. I think it was Oetakaze and there was Endo and Tobizaru and all of those guys, Tsurugisho. And they just didn't know. So every time one was announced, I was like, ooh.
I'm halfway disgusted between these people not knowing, but then also admire the purity of their interest in sumo, where they buy tickets to the basho, but don't read anything or listen to anything. Just what they see is enough for them.
The other thing we saw was that a lot of the Rikishi didn't really bother to do some of their what you might call personal hygiene on the day. So there were a lot of beards.
Yeah, I loved it.
A lot of moustaches. I think Kaisei he hadn't shaved that day. He's like, well, I don't have to. I just come up on the...
I'd say you'd probably turn the alarm off, sleep in, and then just grab the mawashi on the way out. Probably get changed in the cab.
Yeah.
Slip
have
it on.
all the Fusens fight their way out of a cage. I like that too. I mean, that's entertainment. That would make the people who didn't know about it happy.
Hang on a second. I love this idea. This is
very
very exciting.
Or
just line them up around the doyo, so it's 5 on 5. Well, 1 on 1.
Oh yeah, everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, last man standing.
Yeah, or a game of Uno or some
rock paper, scissors.
Just something that they can do that day.
Well, we have our 2 Rikishi up, getting ready to go. We have Yago at Juryo 12, who's coming into this bout 4 and 10, and Makushita 13 visitor Oki, who hasn't had the most positive campaign this time around, going 2-5. We can see a lone Oki fan looking on despondently from the back rows. Gyoji not ready to get the boys involved with each other. Looks towards the exit, and he's going to send them back to the corners. Oki made a bit of an exciting entrance into Juryo not all that long ago. But, you know, another one of these Rikishi who, well, it was 2020.
Oh, well,
September.
That's COVID time. That's a really good example of COVID time if I ever heard it.
Yeah, exactly right.
You remember him being there, but when was it? Nobody knows.
Well, so September 2020, at Juryo 13 posted a very, very, well, there's a lot of black dots there.
They're all
0,
black dots.
15, something he'd like to put behind him. He hasn't had a lot of luck in Makushita, but now finds himself up towards the top and has posted another Makakoshi.
Yago having another terrible one. I mean, we always say it's probably because of his injuries, his struggles, but there's 4 in a row, day 11 to day 14. He has lost. No Fusen wins in there either.
Wow.
Like, the luck of the draw means that everyone should have got 1, if not 2. Yago, he got none.
It doesn't feel fair, does it? If anyone needs a day off and give those knees a rest, it's Yago. Let's see if he can finish off the Basho with a win. Yago down first. Oki comes in, but Yago moves forward with high attacking thrusts, but Oki leans his head in, gets his body close, and he's on the back of the belt of Yago. Very strong left hand, establishes the right hand. Now let's see if he can move the big man back. He does. He's heaving. Yago smashes down Yori Taoshi. Win for Oki there.
Yep, a crush down on the bottom. Yago and the Oki fan in the audience, possibly his mum, is very happy, gets the homemade banner back out again. That's one more win for Oki. He finishes on 3-5. It's not what he would have wanted, but it's better than 2-6.
Certainly is. Welcome to Annie and Scott.
Yeah,
it feels like
guys.
another day of us doing Juryo and another day of you reporting a lot of rain in southeastern Queensland.
Well, we're hearing about Splendour in the Grass, which, if you're listening and you are not Australian, is a big music festival that happens up reasonably near where Scott is. And it's been the first day of it was called off because it was too muddy and wet and crazy.
How far is Byron away from Scott and Annie, I wonder?
We are not in Splendour in the Grass, thank goodness.
I've never really been a festival person.
No.
I've been to a few festivals, I've had some good times, I've played a few festivals. Once you get used to the backstage bars and toilets,
Yeah.
you can't go as a normal punter anymore. I prefer to go and see a band play their own headline.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we went
Always.
to Splendour. I've only been to Splendour once, and that was when you played
Oh, yeah.
in it. And that was, we stayed somewhere else, and
Oh,
we
that's
didn't have
right.
to traverse the mud.
One of the only times in my life that I've hitchhiked.
Yeah, we hitchhiked back to the
hitchhiked,
place.
Yeah.
And walked along that very dangerous road for quite a long
Well,
time
we did.
before we did it.
The lady who was nice enough to pick us up was most definitely on drugs while she was driving. But we appreciated
Memories.
not having to do that hour walk. Well, let's have a look at the next bout. Old mate, Akisayama,
Yes.
up against new mate, Tochimaru. Akisayama, another Makushita visitor. He'd worked his way back up to Makushita 6, but has posted a 2-5. And of course, this is after he went out injured in May 2021, pulling the pin on day 8.
Broken jaw. He's coming back from that, and he's looked okay on and off. He's got mostly kachikoshis, or all kachikoshis, coming back along the way, but this time he couldn't pull it off. 4 losses in a row at the end of his run, only 2 wins, so he's 2-5. Tochimaru, we are going to say, gets one of the Sumo Mainichi Juryo special prizes. We're still giving those out. Don't think just because we're not talking every day about sumo, we don't want to award out as many prizes as we can. So Tochimaru, he gets a special prize for 1 cup, 1 technique prize. And it's for his tsupari.
It's a very exciting feature of Tochimaru's sumo. I wouldn't say it's been
The only
overly...
feature?
I wouldn't say it's been overly effective this time around, but boy, the crowd loved the wild slaps, followed up by more wild slaps and even more wild slaps after that.
The funniest thing I've seen with his wild slaps is when he's aiming them at Hokuseiho. And Hokuseiho being almost 2 meters tall, he was just basically doing tsupari up into the air and just looked like a really angry kid just trying to, get his parents to buy him something or having a bit of a temper tantrum at the supermarket or something. But didn't really work going upwards. It really needs to go forwards, the tsupari.
Well, it's about where the tsupari land. You want to hit upper chest,
Yeah.
throat area, and if it's up in the sky, it's up in the sky.
They are going Tochimaru 6 and 8. We don't mind giving a special prize to someone who is Makakoshi. It does not matter at all. If you go for your technique, you deserve the 1 cup, 1 technique prize. Akisayama taking a long time to go down here. It's really giving Tochimaru the stare off.
He certainly is.
Tochimaru with some finger wiggling. Not keen to go down, but he finally does. Akisayama 2. Akisayama stands up quickly and tries to block the tsupari attack from Tochimaru, and he does quite well, but Tochimaru does get going. He winds up. But he gets moved backwards by Akisayama. Akisayama stays in close. It was a really good technique against Tochimaru and takes him back over the veils.
Well, I think we saw Akisayama handle that Tochimaru 1 technique very effectively today. As you said, closed in, denied that space. And then from there, it's interesting to see Tochimaru doesn't try something else. He goes back to that high thrusting attack and trying to overpower the opponent just with thrusts per second, TPS, as we call it in the industry. We can see here, even on the bales, he's looking for a way to thrust his way out. Well, yeah, Akisayama very, very steady on his feet.
We'll be sending Tochimaru a 1 cup in the post. I'm sure it'll get through. I'm sure they don't mind. Just liquids in a cup coming through the mail in Japan from Australia. That's his 1 cup, 1 technique. Technique prize from Sumo Mainichi for his tsupari. But he does finish on 6 and 9. Akisayama finishing on 3 and 5.
Well, the next bout of the day, Kaisei, a.k.a. Ricardo Sugano. I never know whether that's the right accent to do. I'm sure it's not. The Brazilian powerhouse languishing at Juryo 11. 4 and 10 coming into this Basho, and he's just looked out of sorts recently. We haven't seen him down at Juryo 11 or as far down as that since, I'm going to go all the way back to 2010.
It's a long time ago. He looks injured. He looks out of sorts, as you said. We are giving him the Sumo Mainichi Encouragement Award because we, hopefully along with all of you, love Kaisei. And we don't want him to go yet. Are you prepared to give up on Kaisei yet?
No, absolutely not. No, and I think that's why we're giving him the award. However, I think we do need to face some very, very hard facts here. And the fact is at Juryo 11, 4 and 10. I think a 4 and 11 would see him exit Juryo for sure.
Yep.
And at 35 years old, I wonder whether we'd see him again.
Yeah. Have we seen Kaisei smile a lot? We have back in the days of the Juryo. I think he's got an excellent sense of humour, and I think he is a rikishi that other guys really like and can muck around quite a bit. So when I think about seeing the Kaisei smile, even though we haven't seen it a lot recently, maybe that's a sign. We need to see the Kaisei retirement smile. I'm not calling for it, but I will be keen to see it when it arrives.
Kaisei's opponent today, the experienced 31-year-old Chiyoarashi from Chiba-ken. He is another Makushita visitor after slipping from Juryo 13 with a 4 and 11 back in May. Hasn't had a great time at Makushita 5, I have to say. He's coming into this bout on 2 and 5. Struggled to find rhythm throughout these last 2 weeks. Does he have anything to fight for here?
I would imagine he doesn't want to drop down. I mean, he spent most of his career in the mid to high Makushita level, and he might have felt like he's finally broken out of that. And so I imagine what he's got to fight for is a position in Juryo where you make that really important transition from having to work a whole lot for other people in your heya to the paid ranks. So what he's got to fight for is money.
Exactly right. Kaisei down early. Chiyoarashi moves around to the side, but Kaisei's quick to respond. Kaisei looking low and balanced as he shoves Chiyoarashi very easily over the bales. What did you think of that opening from Chiyoarashi there?
A bit lackluster.
Bit
I
lackluster.
think he didn't have anything to fight for today. I think he was fully accepting of his fate.
Oh, I would have liked to think he would have gone into this with a very positive mindset, thinking that Kaisei's probably a Juryo scalp he could pick up. But this move
Yep.
underestimates the experience that's on Kaisei's shoulders.
Yeah. Kaisei knew how to follow him there.
He certainly did.
It wasn't quick enough, anywhere near quick enough to fool the big man.
Well, is a 5-10 enough to save Kaisei?
Well, I mean, Chiyoarashi is an example. He was Juryo 13 when he went 4 and 11 and moved down to Makushita 5. So I can't imagine that a 5-10 at Juryo 11. Oh, it's right on the... I think he'll be at the top of Makushita. I think he's still going to drop. But what we don't know, that does bring up a really big question about the rankings, the Banzuke for September. We just don't know what's going to happen. There are so many ways it could go. With all these people out, you know, they could freeze all the ranks. They could leave everyone exactly where they are. They could just try to move some people. They could move everybody. It's really hard to know.
I've had a cursory glance at the Banzuke, and I do think a pure rank freeze will cause a logjam in Sanyaku and the upper Maegashira ranks.
Do you mean a rank freeze of just the people with COVID? Yeah.
Yep. I don't mind... Oh, yeah, look, I'd love to be in the room as this is discussed. I would like to think they can come up with a fair and creative solution, but it is the JSA we're talking about.
I was about to say, we know the JSA. We know, I feel like the one thing that I know is that they'll come out with something very definitive. It probably won't make a lot of sense, but they'll commit to it 100%. Everybody will talk about it for a couple of weeks, and then it'll just go ahead as normal anyway.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because I do see Western sumo fans falling into the trap of thinking that sumo needs to make sense to them.
Exactly.
And I've long since given up that idea of understanding this beautiful sport / cultural artifact. It is what it is, and we love it for it.
If during the week you're at work and you feel like, you know, you're not being confident enough, just think about the JSA and their extreme pure confidence, and just know that the decision that you're making is the right one. No matter what.
Couple of Enho banners in the crowd there. Looks like Dad's thinking that he can get a nice mobile phone video of that to pop on probably his Line account, I think, in Japan.
Enho 7-7. Nanasho Nanahai. A big day for the young man.
It's been an interesting basho for Enho, hasn't it? Got off to a bit of a shaky start. He was 1-3 after the first 4 days, but has just been grinding away. We've seen better small man sumo from him.
Yeah. He's looking to move around like he always does. He's always keen to get on the front of the mawashi, use those angles, and sometimes it just really works for him, and sometimes he's flung around like a rag doll. It really can go either way. But I would say that overall this time around he's looking pretty positive. I'd sort of weigh it on the side of the positive.
I would agree. I think he completely deserves a Kachikoshi this basho, but his opponent, Kitanowaka, has been in very consistent form. Already has his Kachikoshi, the 21-year-old.
Yeah, give it to Enho then.
Picked that up on day 11. Beautiful split screen work by Abema TV. We thank them for their coverage. Seeing 2 Rikishi at once is a revolution. The Gyorji calls them ready.
Enho, can he get this final victory for his Kachikoshi? He's staring Kitanowaka in the face. Kitanowaka, the much bigger man as usual, with Enho, but Enho goes down first, still looking him in the eyes. Little head nod. They're taking a long time here. I don't know whether they're going to break. They don't. Enho comes up underneath Kitanowaka's armpits. He's really trying to move him away, and he's trying to get that front mashi grip, and he's got it with his right hand, and he uses it. This is the way of choice now for him to tug Kitanowaka down to the ground. That was an excellent win for his Kachikoshi.
Kachikoshi. Great stuff. Will we call that a Shitate Nage, I wonder? Maybe we'll see what they come back with. Yeah, the fan club.
Shitate Dashinage. Yeah,
Shitate
just read it.
Dashinage, okay. And as you said, has won by similar techniques over the last few days. I felt Kitanowaka here was trying to watch what was going to happen very, very carefully at the touchy eye. He knew that Enho was going to try to get in and low, but in the end he couldn't do too much to stop Enho. And again, seeing Enho just be so dynamic and active once he had the Mawashi, it gave Kitanowaka absolutely zero chance to stabilise and mount a defence.
It looked like Kitanowaka was just trying to push Enho down to the ground, and you can't do that anymore. He's a little bit bigger, a little bit more stable. You can't just push him down. You have to spin him around and get him on the off angle or get him off balance. When he has his balance, he's really, really good. And so just pushing down from over the top, it doesn't work. And Enho just got into the position he wanted to. That's great news
He
for him.
certainly did. And look, with Kitanowaka already having his Kachikoshi, my thought is always share it around. Enho has one now as well.
Yep.
And from Juryo 8, we'll see a modest bump in the Banzuke next time around.
A few thoughts here in the chat about what they should do in September. Reuse the Nagoya Banzuke to a soft rerun. I mean,
I
that's,
don't mind
I've
that
seen
idea.
That postulated.
Yeah, I don't mind that idea. But then there are people who are being punished who did well.
Yeah. It's just there's going to be no fair way to do it. Essentially, I can't think of a fair way, because if you go out without, just say you go out, you take the two extremes. You go out with COVID with no wins, and you go out with COVID with 10 wins on day 10.
Yep.
They shouldn't both really be
completely agree.
frozen at the same
Completely
position.
agree.
So that's not fair. But then if you don't freeze them, that's not fair, because you don't know how they're going to come back. So as Thaddeus, I can't say it, I tried to say it, I took a deep breath. Thaddeus Funstaff has suggested pizza party.
Okay. I would also like to propose a new idea, which is after July we draw a line in the sand and we say no more rank freezes. And that not getting COVID is another skill that a Rikishi has to keep their body ready for the Basho. Same as you look after your knees, you look after your elbows, you look after your body. It's got to become an extra skill.
The only problem with that is the whole issue with COVID and other people not looking after their body, and then you get
Don't go
COVID.
near them. Don't go near them.
Don't fight them
Yeah,
the
don't
day
fight
before.
them.
Just pull
Or
out of the...
come up with a technique where you've got your head off to the side, so you're not breathing in.
Don't breathe during the whole bout.
Oh, there you go.
Hold your breath.
Hold your breath.
We've done it. Okay, we've
You
done
probably could for a lot of these bouts, as long as they didn't drag on too long.
it. It is Gonoyama, who we have been loving this time around in Juryo. He is 8-6 coming into today against Kotokuzan, who has absolutely clawed his way back to a Nanasho Nanahai 7-7. Started off, well, he's got his pattern going the whole time. Oh, he's broken it in the middle. So he went 2 losses, 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 win, 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 win.
Well, you would think that
Is it a palindrome of wins?
he could make it maybe. You think he'd win today. Gonoyama, though, on debut in Juryo, has looked very, very good. The 24-year-old, he's from Osaka, went through the Chuo University system there. Made his debut in March 2021. And from here, it's been all Kachikoshis. There was a Makushita Yusho as part of that. And I think he'd be happy with this performance. Juryo 14 can be a challenging position for new Rikishi to come in. But a Kachikoshi that he got actually from a Fusensho on day 11. Or day 12, I should say.
His oyakata is Takekume Oyakata Takekuma, ex-Goedo, and who we don't see around a lot at the moment. He I don't think he commentates anymore because he's an oyakata, is that right?
We haven't seen him in a year.
And he hasn't started to adjudicate yet. So we don't see him a lot, just in the Heya, getting about. Telling Gonoyama what to do.
Gyoji calls time. Kotokuzan desperate for that final win to take him to Kachikoshi at Juryo 7. Gonoyama would love another one to finish this basho off in a positive light. Gonoyama down first. Kotokuzan mucking around causes Gonoyama to break. A bit of a reset. Apologise to the central Shimpan, to each other, as men, as Rikishi, as friends. Is this part of Kotokuzan's normal preparation, just to muck around this much?
A lot of mata.
Gonoyama comes in. The powerful attacks force Kotokuzan back, but Kotokuzan is hitting high, pulls Gonoyama there, but Gonoyama holds his feet and manoeuvres Kotokuzan towards the Tawara, but what a comeback. Kotokuzan works with heavy thrusts Gonoyama across the doyo and over the Tawara. Did Gonoyama underestimate the power of Kotokuzan there?
Maybe. I felt that Kotokuzan was highly motivated. I think the power might have come from him. His movements looked really sharp. They looked extra, I don't know, powerful today. The muscles were just moving, and that comeback was really good. He stepped just a little bit to the side on the Tawara and then was able to land all of those thrusts as he came back across.
There was a certain efficiency to Kotokuzan's sumo today. Even when he was being taken on a tour of nearly the whole doyo, knew where he was in relation to the Tawara and just didn't overcommit there.
Well, that's a real surprise. Kotokuzan. Not Kitanowaka. He was someone I was thinking about before because he got so high up before having to go out. He got to 7 wins, Kitanowaka, before going out with COVID, and he was someone that I just really thought was hard done by.
Well, next up on the screen, we have Hokuseiho and Bushozan. Both Rikishi already getting their kachikoshi, but Hokuseiho, everyone's been talking about him this time around in what is amounting to his proper Juryo debut, even though we've seen him here before, already has 10 wins on the board. What do you think of his form?
Well, I have been accused of not being a Hokuseiho fan. There are a lot of people who call themselves his fan, and I guess I've been a little bit slow to get on board, and I've just had them all come at me. And so I'm really pleased to see him doing well because he is very talented. He obviously is, despite, the problems with being so tall, the difficult things perhaps about being so tall. He's been able to take advantage of the things that do work for him about being so tall in his style of sumo and make them work for him. 10-4, even at Juryo 13, it is nothing to sneeze at. Bushozan, he got his kachikoshi as well. 8-6, I love to see that.
Yeah, very, very good stuff. Bushozan fans would be very happy with that performance at Juryo 6, which I think will perhaps see him at his highest rank. We might have to have a look to see if that's true. Hokuseiho, another Rikishi with a well-established pattern of wins and losses this basho. He's gone 1 loss, 3 wins, 3 times in a row.
That looks nice actually on the scoreboard.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And look, I mean, the big point of conversation around Hokuseiho is the high touchy eye.
Yeah. Bushozan down early. He's back from the Shikiri-sen as usual. He comes in slowly. Hokuseiho also doesn't do much. Bushozan pushes him back a couple of times and gets in low. Hokuseiho easily reaches over and gets the right hand on the belt of Bushozan. But Bushozan, he's not giving up. He gets the knot at the back, but it's too late and he has already stepped out and over.
Hokuseiho looked like he thought that was a mata. Did you think that? I mean,
I think it was just his touchy eye.
I think it's just his touchy eye. It looks like he thinks they're going to go again, but he has a way of trying really hard without looking like he's trying.
It's just such an odd style. I guess that's why I haven't got on board. I don't enjoy the style yet, but I am very interested to see what happens with him. That's why we've given him the Sumo Mainichi Champion of Tomorrow award. He's gone 11-4 at Miyagino. He's not the top Sekitori there. Enho keeps that record with his kachikoshi today, but
well, as Scott,
up and coming.
Scott reminded us of that.
Ah, yes.
But I think it's going to be very hot competition, and I don't think it'll
Yeah.
stay that way for very long.
Yeah, Enho should enjoy that last one, perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps. Well, up on the doyo next, Atamifuji and Chiyosakae. Atamifuji coming in on 7 wins, 7 losses. Nana short, Nana high at J6, Juryo 6. Would love a win today. His opponent, Chiyosakae, Juryo 14, on debut, and another potential Sumo Mainichi Award winner.
Yep, we will give him the champion of tomorrow after stating that we were firmly against if win over the last year. We've become
We've softened.
yeah, we've become fans of it. So Chiyosakae, if win, he can get the Sumo Mainichi champion of tomorrow prize along with Hokuseiho. But on the line also, as you said, is Atamifuji's Kachikoshi. So that should make this match a very interesting one. Both of the Nana Shou, Nana High matches so far have been in the favour of those guys. So Enho won, Kotokuzan won. Can Atamifuji, the first Isagahama Sekitori to fight today, also get his Kachikoshi?
Well, it would be a good thing. This is Atamifuji's 3rd appearance in Juryo. Great 10-5 effort back in May at Juryo 12. Sees him now at Juryo 6. And of course, he's fighting at his highest rank. 19 years old, Atamifuji. We never need to forget how young he is. Well, I was going to say the Gyorji, rightly,
I thought they were going.
will send them back to their corners.
I wasn't even watching. I was just waiting for them to start.
No, I mean, Gyorji not happy with the level of hype from the Nagoya crowd.
Fair enough. Chiyosakae, he, in his first match in Juryo, are they going?
I think this Gyorji, no, I think they're...
Is the Gyorji
Oh, I
looking
can't-
weird?
No, he's going back. Yeah, I feel like he was on a 45-degree angle. And I felt like they
Something
thought they
wrong
might be
there.
going. We thought they were going. Dolphins Arena crowd couldn't care less. They haven't been reading the papers. They haven't been listening to sumo podcasts. They wonder who this young man is. But
Goodness,
they know...
if they're going to get hyped up for anyone, it's Atamifuji, right?
Oh, you would think so. Chiyosakae, I have been very, very impressed by. He's been around the traps for quite a while, 32 years old, from Kyoto. Made his debut in Car Park Sumo January 2009, where he went 2-6. I think he might have turned up a few days he wasn't meant to there and took the loss. But now he finds himself fighting at his highest rank. Love to see these 30-year-olds come in late. Gyorji, happy with the level of hype.
I'm calculating his angle. It's front
it
on.
looks good. Holds the Gunbai up. And neither Atamifuji or Chiyosakae appear to be in any hurry.
It's the Abema front on angle. Nice and close.
Atamifuji will want to win this out of the touch here. Get nice and close, but it's Chiyosakae who shows his hand. He breaks. Well, now Atamifuji knows the game plan. It's his to win.
He has to do his finger stretching routines all over
I
again.
don't mind that. He looks like he's got good piano playing fingers.
He does actually. They're very long.
Very long and slender.
He likes to make sure that they are ready to go.
Okay, Gyorji's had enough of it. Atamifuji now. Probably got the mental edge on Chiyosakae, I would say. Okay, it's Chiyosakae working in close. Atamifuji defending, thrusting to keep some space there, but Chiyosakae's throwing his head into the chest of Atamifuji, but when Atamifuji moves forward, Chiyosakae decided to pull there, and boy, Atamifuji looked very happy about that win.
So the third Sekitori in Juryo today to win on 7-7. It hasn't been a curse today. It's been very good for all those three guys. Enho, Kotokuzan and Atamifuji. or with their kachikoshi.
And Kotokuzan.
What
Did
did
you
I
say
say? Kotonowaka again.
Kotonowaka?
Just can't stop thinking about it.
No. It's
Atamifuji pumped up there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of pressure on this guy. He's so young, but being a part of Isagahama, I don't think we can underestimate what that must feel like at the moment. So the positive side of it is all the support. Nishiki Fuji going so well. He's got a special prize in Makuuchi. Midori Fuji is going pretty well, of course. Teruno Fuji and Takara Fuji. He got his kachikoshi yesterday. So just real good times there. For him to be the one that lets down the top two ranks would have been, he would have been shunned.
Absolutely. A lot of pressure and high expectations on the young man as we see our Sanyaku Rikishi step up on the doyo.
It's time to evaluate their performance in standing.
Well, let's have a look. Well, who's that's planted themselves right? That's Hoshori, put himself right in the
Too
silhouette
short, you've got to go on an angle.
Teruno Fuji, and we've lost our
Bema
Abema
gone.
feed. Well,
Hello, Ben, we'll say in the meantime. How is everyone? Who do people think is going to win today? Because it really does come down to an interesting one. So, Teruno Fuji losing yesterday, actually, before we talk about today, can we talk about Shodai beating Teruno Fuji yesterday and the Zabuton?
yeah, I mean, there's only one thing that we will remember this Basho for, and it's Shodai after cleaning up the Yokozuna. Got hit in the head with one of the cushions, and without even breaking line of sight, just takes it cleanly off his head and throws it off.
Yeah, he should play for the Hiroshima Carp. What a catch.
It was a fantastic catch, and I think it just shows the kind of level that he's operating and the situational awareness that Shodai has. Even after the decision is gone, he's still switched on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he really was paying attention. The other thing there is that, as we mentioned with the crowd not knowing that all the Fusensho were happening yesterday and oohing at everyone, they also didn't know that you're not meant to chuck the Zabuton one and Ozeki's one. It's not a Kimboshi.
Well,
but they still wanted to get in the spirit of it.
I mean, can you blame them for being hungry?
Yeah.
For excitement.
Hungry for a chuck.
Yeah. Yeah. As the camera pans slowly up, Yokozuna, Teruno Fuji.
So Annie's going for Ichinojo.
Yep.
I might be with you there, Annie, because that would be absolutely amazing. Plus, he only has... Do we know the Torakumi, actually?
Ichinojo fights Ura.
Okay.
It's basically 3-3 if you don't count a Fusensho that Ichinojo picked up when Ura went injured. I think that's going to be a very, very hard bout. Let's keep in mind also that Ura comes in on 7-7.
Oh, imagine if Ura hankers him.
Well, I don't want to think about it. But so much to play for Ura at Maegashira 3. Teruno Fuji, of course, taking on Takakeisho. Takakeisho, he's 10-4. This is an Ozeki performance. No one can take that away from him. What would it mean for him as he steps up on the doyo to take on Teruno Fuji?
I mean, it would mean a lot because if Ichinojo loses, as you've said, Ben, with an Ura henker, that's what I suggested, and then Takakeisho beats Teruno Fuji, Tabby, as you want, we have a 3-way playoff.
Magic.
That would be magic.
I do sometimes feel like it's fun to think of hypotheticals, but when Teruno Fuji's out there,
yeah,
he's certainly the one to win. Will be interesting because the Ura Ichinojo bout is 6 bouts away from the final bout, which is Teruno Fuji, Takakeisho. So there'll be lots of time for Takakeisho to be sitting by the doyo, giving the NHK camera people lots of material as he looks inwards, getting ready for that final bout. At the top of the card, the other ones that will be interesting. Wakataka Kage takes on Shodai. I think there'd be, for Shodai coming in at 9-5, going double digits for Shodai would be a very, very big statement.
Oh, it'd be so great.
It would be. Wakataka Kage already got his Kachikoshi. He's 8-6 and has really put in a very, very solid effort as a Sekiwake and shows that he deserves to be there and he deserves to stay there. Hokushoryu takes on Midori Fuji in the third last bout, and I think this one may be match of the day. Hoshoryu and Midorifuji have met 3 times, Midorifuji winning all 3. But Hoshoryu, I think we've seen a level of consistency and intensity throughout this basho that will make it very, very hard for Midorifuji to top. Both Rikishi coming in on 9 and 5, hungry for that double-digit win total there.
And what other 7-7 bouts do we have? We've got,
Kiribiyama Chiyoshoma.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
Chiyoshoma's funny, isn't he? I mean, he's been the subject of, he initiated the deep discussions that Western Sumo has gone into around the henka. It feels like now when he does it, it's like witnessing art. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I just took
The
a sip of
sake went down
sake.
the wrong way.
Well, I filled it up way too full
Did
and
you?
I had to lean down and, when you need to sip off the top because the meniscus is in trouble and then it didn't go down properly because I was on a funny angle. So Chiyoshoma, because he doesn't do the henka so much anymore, every time he does, everyone's looking out for it. We appreciate it. He's flipped it. He's found a way to flip, as you say, the henka into a work of art.
And look, against Kiribiyama, I don't think it's a good idea for Chiyoshoma to find himself on the belt, which is what he does if he doesn't henka. Go for it. Let's do it. T-shirts for everyone.
I'm really looking forward to that. Right now, though, we have Hirota-Umi, who's coming into this on 9 and 5. He's had a bit of a cracker of a time. Really enjoyed, although some losses that I think maybe he wouldn't have been that happy with. His opponent is old mate Tokushoryu, and he, not so great. He's the opposite. He is 5 wins and 9 losses.
Can we just look at these Hirota-Umi losses? Bushozan, Chiyosakae, Hokuseiho, Ryuden, Kitanowaka. I think he's lost to high-quality opponents, which makes this 9-5 very, very impressive.
It does, but that's what I mean, I guess, in that coming up against some of those people in form, he would have loved to get 1 or 2 of those and just prove that he was the one in that slightly better form. Even though he's going well, he's sort of sitting in the upper middle rather than towards the top.
True. You're exactly right about that. Scott, I think it's a strong person that is willing to say that they're wrong about Shodai. We will be unpacking in great detail the Hakuho phone call that happened very early on and definitely turned the basho around for Shodai.
Mm-hmm. And Tabby's starting to fall in love with Shodai. I feel like people are starting to see what I've seen in him. He's just for me, he's just a lovable guy with some really exciting storylines. Just what a great clearing of the kataban this time around.
There's, what can you say about the inner strength of a person who can perform so well in an ocean of online bullying?
Yes, that's right.
It's a lesson for kids.
I do not understand the hate. Everything he does is the funniest possible thing he could do in any given.
Who said that?
Tabby. That's exactly right.
Completely agree. Yeah, he's a walking entertainment machine, let's face it.
I've never had throughout my life someone I would always have at a dinner party. Now I do. Shodai. It is Hirota-Umi up against Tokushoryu, though. Let's come back to this. Hirota-Umi down early. Tokushoryu takes a couple of quick steps forward, but it's Hirota-Umi who's up in his belly region, gets him around and pushes him out.
Now, you did say Hirota-Umi throughout that call, but
it's true.
Let's take a moment to pour one out for Hirota-Umi, who, of course, is sitting out the rest of this basho.
Pour any more out, I reckon. I should pour some back in.
But it was Hirota-Umi who we saw handle the Tokushoryu charge very well. Tokushoryu can look good on the back foot, but Hirota-Umi was just too fast, too low, too balanced. 10-5 for the 32-year-old now at his highest rank in Juryo. He could not be happier with this result, although more wins, as you said, against the best of the best in Juryo.
Why is he so surprisingly old, Hirota-Umi? 32.
Why am I so surprisingly old? Time moves very fast.
The last time I said Hirota-Umi in that, it was like my brain went into slow motion. I just heard Hirota-Umi, and I was like, have I said that every single time?
No. Yes, but people knew who you were talking about. Well, as we see the much-loved Abema promo with the Kaukachao, a.k.a. Chinwagon. What a great song. Well, we're actually down to the final 2 bouts of the Juryo draw.
Only
for
10 bouts in all.
for day 15. And we've got some crackers. We've got Asanowaka up against Chiyonoumi. Asanowaka coming in 7-7. And in a piece of champagne programming, the final bout, Kagayaki up against Akua, both 7-7.
Chiyonoumi already with his Kachikoshi. He has been performing pretty well, particularly over the last few days. He has 3 wins in a row over Yago, Akua and Bushozan.
Okay.
Not too bad.
Ben,
Pulled it
sorry,
back a little bit.
I just read Ben's message and started laughing. But I'm good now. On your screen, Asanowaka, the 27-year-old, coming into this on 7-7. As you'll see from his performance, had some dark days over the middle weekend and early this week, but salvaged the Basho with a run of 3 wins that sees him in this position of maybe being able to get Kachikoshi here if he can overcome Chiyonoumi.
I think Asanowaka now is featuring in the Ben Marshman Henker spreadsheet and index at the moment because he's been a little bit cheeky with those. He doesn't mind pulling them out. I can't remember exactly which days were they. Maybe the Shitate Dashinage, the Akua one. I can't remember which ones
Could have
were.
been definitely the day 7 Hataki Komi against Gonoyama, I should say, comes to mind. It's unbecoming of Asanowaka to rely on this technique, I do have to say. I think his technique is beautiful, but you often see Henkers as a cry for help. And, obviously with those dark days and that run of 5 losses, he needed something desperate to turn it around.
I think maybe it's Terutsuyoshi's cry for help at the moment.
Well, geez, the Ashitori's his cry for help.
Yeah.
They get ready to go. Chiyonoumi in fast and low. Asanowaka retreats, but as he comes back, overcommits forward. And Chiyonoumi happy to help him down on his way. So that's our first 7-7 Rikishi not to pick up the Kachikoshi, denied today by some very nimble sumo from Chiyonoumi.
Should have hankered. I was looking there for the Chiyonoumi meet and move. I thought he might have done a little step, but the step definitely came after the tachi-eye, so no funny business there from Chiyonoumi. He's not known for it, and he does get the Hadakikomi win on day 15 to go to 9-6. So at Juryo 9, that is looking really good for him. There are, assuming we don't have a full rank freeze and go into September with exactly the same ranks, there are a few people who, as we've mentioned, will be dropping out of Juryo. It looks like Kaisei will be one of them with that 5-10, even though he won today. Yago with 4-11 at Juryo 12. Oshoma at his Juryo debut from Naruto Bayer. He was out early. He went 5 wins, 3 losses, and the rest of the days off.
That's so disappointing. So disappointing. Great to see him on debut, but he'll be back.
Yeah, so he'll pop down as well. Ishiura will drop out as well. He didn't face up as well. Although, no, that's due to injury, yep. So at Juryo 10, Ishiura will be down in Makushita, which will be very strange to see. And Shimazu 2, 5 wins, 4 losses and 5 days off. That'll be probably a rank freeze. But if they choose not to, he might drop out as well, which would be a massive shame because he was looking fantastic.
He certainly was. Well, as Abema pay the bills, we look towards our final match of Juryo in this Nagoya Basho 2022 Kagayaki up against Akua. And I do think we probably need to talk about Akua here. He started this tournament off with 6 losses.
Yeah.
And from then has gone on to only drop 1. Chiyonoumi overcame him on day 13. Just looked like he got himself together, Akua. He was looking hopeless in that first week.
He was looking absolutely awful. He looked super injured, I thought. Like he had no... he always looks like he has motivation, Akua. He always tries. But sometimes he just ends up looking a bit bumbling a little bit,
Well-
like he's not got his stuff together.
I feel like he's just gone back to the fundamentals of his sumo and it's been working for him. He's a big guy, powerful, strong, moving away from the weird techniques. I say weird because they never seem to work for him. It's been great to see him just get in close, get on the belt and shuffle his opponent over the bales.
Yeah, that's right. He's gone back to a bit of normal business. Kagayaki a little bit the opposite. He started off so well that we were just like, he's going to wreck here. He's just going to move forward. He's going to engage the robot arms and take everybody out. His first stumbling block was Hidenoumi, and this time I mean Hidenoumi. And then he started to come back again, but now he's got 4 losses in a row before his 1 win yesterday. And they weren't to people he should necessarily be losing against. So a bit the opposite of Akua.
It's interesting, isn't it? Kagayaki, I wonder if it's a fitness or health thing. I feel that as this basho's gone on, just the strength has escaped him. The speed has gone missing. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Akua's in with a real chance here.
Yeah, I would think so as well. I mean, it's always so great to have 2 Nanasho Nanahai Rikishi against each other. We aren't seeing it so much today because of the COVID issues. Oh, they've put Kagayaki up next to his fans. That's a nice use of the split screen technique here on Abema.
Well, they do. So I sometimes feel like they do have film students trying out some new contemporary filmmaking techniques on Abema, and that was a new use of the picture-in-picture.
Sumo Punk's in the chat. Hello.
Oh, Sumo Punk.
Awesome.
Sumo Punks.
To have you guys in here listen to their podcast, also named Sumo Punks. If you'd like to hear an excellent sumo
Now,
podcast.
Sumo Punk's looking for the
Do the leg
kakenage. Let's
thing.
do it, Akua. Let's do it for the punks.
Akua, he's thinking about it.
Do it.
He can't stop thinking about it.
Actually, don't
he
do
wants
it
to do it.
Don't do it against Kagayaki.
No, it will not work. But do it anyway. Kagayaki, he's back further. He's out of the range of the kakenage. Just got to get in close if you're going to do it, Akua. He goes forward. He gets in with the left arm. Now it's on the outside. Now it's on the belt. Now he's trying the makakai, but he couldn't complete it. So he's back on the outside again with the left hand. Kagayaki, his arms are inside, but Akua won't stop moving. Kagayaki tries to move out of the way on the edge, but he can't, and Akua takes him over. That's the sumo you were talking about.
This is exactly the sumo I was talking about, and it's good to see Akua feeling good about that. Look, you get the results. What a fantastic final 9 days now of this basho. Kachikoshi for him. Gee, I reckon it's been a while since I've seen that happen for Akua. Let's consult the history books. It was back in November 2021 where he went 9-6 at Maigashira 16. Gee, times have changed. But solid sumo that saw him just overpower Kagayaki in the end. Big head nod.
Very happy about that. So that means that Juryo 7, Akua will move up at least 1 place unless, my constant disclaimer, they leave everyone where they are, which would be a little bit unfair for him. Kagayaki, though, at Juryo 3 will move down. That's no return to Makuuchi for him. The people who will go up from Juryo to Makuuchi look like, well, Ryuden definitely with the Yusho. Also, yeah, and then it's a little bit weird, actually. There's Mitoryu 8-6 at Juryo 4.
Not enough.
Asanowaka didn't get his Kachikoshi. Chiyonokuni 8-6 at Juryo 5. So there actually might not be much movement. That signals good things for the people at the bottom of Makuuchi in trouble.
Juryo fans, if there were some familiar faces that you didn't see fight today, that's because we have 3 Juryo visitors up in the top division. We have Chiyonokuni, Juryo 5 taking on Onosho, which should be a good bout. Chiyonokuni already Kachikoshi at 8-6. Myogiryu takes on Hidenoumi, the actual Hidenoumi at Juryo 1.
I'll call him Hirodumi, I promise.
Hidenoumi's 5-9, so not much to play for here. And Juryo Yusho winner Ryuden goes up against Takarafuji. Ryuden already 12 wins at Juryo 1 and that Yusho. I think this is just mathematical now, how high he will go next time.
We are giving Chiyonokuni, if he wins today, another Sumo Mainichi special prize. It's the Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me for an experienced Rikishi who doesn't let age deter them either with or without Makuuchi experience. That's the whole title of that award. He obviously does have Makuuchi experience, and he is still at it despite everything that he's been through. But we're only giving it to him if he wins. If he wins, he'll go 9-6 at Juryo 5, and he might be the one that pops back up. That's why we're so invested in the win. We want to see him back in Makuuchi. Come on, Shionokuni.
I'm happy with him up at Juryo, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out, getting involved in chat, and joining us on what was a very exciting day of Juryo for day 15. We will be doing a podcast following the Makuuchi bouts wrapping up today. We're going to sit down and recap the whole...
We've got a lot of notes.
Basho. We do have a lot of notes. It's probably going to be an epic episode in terms of length, but very much looking forward to that. We'll be back for a pre-Basho episode in the lead up to the September Basho. Wow. This year is flying by.
Thanks so much for coming to join us for Juryo. Everyone is total legends, and here's to a 3-way playoff if that's what you so desire tonight, or a Terunofuji Yusho if that's the way you'd rather go, or just Ichinojo straight out. Why not? We'll see you tonight for a podcast. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.